Every week, another team spends hours copying data between apps by hand. Spreadsheets pile up, notifications get missed, and somewhere, a founder stares at their screen wondering why their automated business still feels so manual. The click of a keyboard echoes in a quiet home office at midnight. If you've been comparing automation platforms, you've probably landed on the same two names everyone's talking about, n8n and Zapier. But here's what most comparison videos won't tell you. The real difference in automation platform ROI isn't about features or pricing tiers, it's about something far less obvious, and it might completely change which tool actually makes sense for your business. Let me walk you through what the surface-level comparisons miss. First, some context. Zapier launched over a decade ago and essentially created this category. Picture thousands of app logos floating in a connected web, each one a potential integration. They made automation accessible to anyone who could click a mouse, no code required. That was revolutionary. n8n came later with a different philosophy. Open source, self-hostable, more technical flexibility. Imagine a digital workbench covered in modular components you can arrange however you want. On paper, comparing them seems straightforward. One's easier, one's more powerful. Pick your priority. But that framing misses what actually drives business value. And business value is what we're really after here. Look, this isn't financial advice or a guarantee of specific results. Every business situation is different, and outcomes depend entirely on your execution and strategy. With that said, let's dig into the real cost equation. Zapier uses task-based pricing. Every time a Zap runs, you consume a task. A notification badge lighting up on a phone screen, that's one task. A row added to a sheet, another task. This feels intuitive at first. You pay for what you use. But here's where it gets interesting. As your automations scale, those tasks multiply fast. A workflow that runs 50 times a day becomes 1,500 tasks a month, from one automation alone. Picture a water meter spinning faster and faster as your business grows. n8n takes a different approach. Their cloud pricing is based on workflow executions, not individual operations within those workflows. Self-hosted? You pay nothing for executions, just your own infrastructure costs. Server fans humming in a data center become your main expense instead. If you're running high-volume automations, think e-commerce order processing, customer data syncing, or lead routing, this difference compounds dramatically over time. Industry data hints that businesses running complex multi-step automations can see costs differ by 5 to 10 times between the two models at scale. But wait, there's a flip side here that deserves attention. If your automation needs are modest, say, a few dozen simple workflows, Zapier's ease of use might save you more money in the time you don't spend building and debugging. A founder sipping coffee while a Zap handles their CRM updates in the background. That simplicity has real value. The question becomes, where's your growth trajectory pointing? Now let's talk technical flexibility, because this is where the trade-offs get personal. Zapier shines when you need standard integrations between popular tools. Connecting Slack to Google Sheets to HubSpot? That's a 15-minute setup. Drag, drop, done. Bright interface elements snapping together like digital puzzle pieces. But the moment you need custom logic, conditional branching, API calls to niche tools, data transformation, you start hitting walls. Premium features, paid apps, workarounds that feel clunky. n8n hands you the keys to the engine. You can write custom code, build complex conditional trees, connect to any API with proper documentation. Lines of JavaScript flowing across a dark mode editor at 2 in the morning. The power is genuinely impressive. Self-hosting means your data never leaves your servers. A compliance consideration that matters more every year. But here's the honest trade-off nobody likes admitting. That flexibility requires someone who can use it. If your team doesn't include technical talent, or if you're a solo founder without coding experience, n8n's power becomes theoretical rather than practical. A beautiful toolbox gathering dust on a workbench helps no one. This is worth pausing on. The best automation platform ROI comes from what actually gets built and maintained, not what's theoretically possible. And that brings us to the factor most comparisons completely ignore. Organizational capability. See, every automation you build becomes technical debt you have to manage. Workflows break when apps update. Edge cases emerge. Someone has to troubleshoot when things go wrong. red error notifications piling up in an inbox like digital warning lights. With Zapier, troubleshooting is often straightforward. Clear error messages, helpful documentation, a support team you can actually reach. With n8n, especially self-hosted, you're more on your own. Community forums are active, but complex issues can take real time to solve. Imagine your most important automation failing at 9 a.m. on a Monday. How quickly can your team diagnose and fix it? The answer to that question affects your real-world ROI more than any feature comparison ever could. This raises a deeper tension worth naming. There's something almost seductive about the idea of owning your automation infrastructure completely. Data sovereignty, no vendor lock-in, unlimited customization. But that ownership comes with responsibility, server maintenance, security patches, backup systems. A team huddled around a whiteboard, mapping out infrastructure they never expected to manage. Is your business actually prepared for that operational burden? Or would that energy be better spent on your core product? Honest self-assessment here matters more than any tool review. Let me share what the data patterns actually suggest for different business types. For solopreneurs and small teams running straightforward workflows, connecting CRM to email to calendar, Zapier's simplicity often delivers better effective ROI. Your time has value, and reduced friction matters. For growing companies with technical resources and complex, high-volume needs, custom integrations, data pipelines, compliance requirements, n8n's economics and flexibility start making compelling sense. A scaling startup's ops dashboard showing hundreds of automated processes running in parallel. For enterprise teams, the calculus gets more nuanced. Zapier's premium tiers offer better support and security features. n8n self-hosting allows compliance configurations that might otherwise be impossible. Neither platform is universally superior. Context determines everything. Here's one more angle that rarely gets discussed. Migration costs. Whichever platform you choose, switching later isn't trivial. Every Zap or workflow you build represents invested time. Organizational knowledge encoded in automation logic. An archived folder full of workflow diagrams nobody wants to rebuild from scratch. Betting on the wrong platform early can mean expensive transitions later. Or worse, staying with a tool that no longer fits because switching feels too painful. This is why the decision deserves real thought up front. If you found this breakdown useful so far, consider subscribing. We go deep on business technology decisions like this one every week. No hype, just practical insights you can actually use. So where does this leave us? The core surprise I mentioned at the beginning? It's this. Automation platform ROI isn't primarily a product question. It's an organizational readiness question. The right tool depends on who you have, what you're building, and how fast you're scaling. Zapier offers accessible power with predictable constraints. n8n offers flexible power with operational demands. A founder at a crossroads, two paths stretching into different business futures. Neither is wrong, but one fits your specific situation better. Here's your takeaway. Before comparing features, audit your actual automation needs. What volume are you running? What technical capability exists on your team? What's your compliance reality? Match the tool to your organizational truth, not to what looks impressive on paper. And here's a question worth considering. What automation have you been putting off because you weren't sure which platform to build it on? Drop your answer in the comments. I read everyone, and these conversations often spark future deep dives. Until next time, build systems that actually work for your business, not just systems that sound good.